Hi, this video is a comparison of 4 different calendar applications, each targeted different audience groups. These 4 different applications stand out in compared to a lot of different applications based on the features they provide to user and a range of things that I will explain in this video. So these are calendar application, native calendar application, Across, which is a newly emerged application and is quite well supported, quite famous, Fantastical, and also Calendar 5 by Readdle. For this comparison, I came up with a list of things that I believe are important when you choose a calendar application. And I will start with the storefront. Let's go to calendar application by Apple. This application is available across platforms, it's completely free of charge, and the way it's supported is basically on each iOS release. So it might be minor changes, and on each release and yearly, you might see huge changes. For example, for this release of iOS 18, which is still in beta mode, and I'm using it, we have seen a huge bump in the UI and interface. And in the latest release also, I saw a couple of changes. For example, the design is a slightly bold, the contrasts are a little bit more obvious. And if you go back to the month view, now there is a gap in between each month, which I don't like to see, but yeah, the way they designed it is now this way. Next, we have Across. Across is a newly emerged application. I think the development team is based in South Korea, and the way I see it supported is quite frequent. The application was released in less than 2 years, and I can see that it's frequently getting updated. The price for this application is quite reasonable. For one-time purchase, it will be a premium of $12.99, and they sell a color palette premium, which I show you later, for $3.99, which significantly improves the appearance of your application, your calendar application. This application is mainly focused on the views and the way the interface is presented, and you will see your event is highly customizable. You will see that it's super customizable, and it's accessible across all Apple ecosystem, including Mac, iPad, and also Watch. Next is Calendar 5 by Readdle. Readdle introduced this calendar about a decade ago, and Calendar 5 is no longer available. Instead, they introduced this blue color calendar application, which is exactly the same, but is accessible across all Apple ecosystem. So let's take a look at the storefront. So as you can see, this application is also quite well maintained. The updates are very frequent and is accessible across all Apple ecosystem. The price for this application is almost £20, $19.49, which is also accessible across all ecosystem. Means you pay once and you can use the application across all platforms. And then we have Fantastical, which is also very well maintained and quite often supported, accessible across all Apple ecosystem, including Vision Pro. And I can see the price is a bit higher than the rest of the applications, is $59.99, almost £60 for a year premium, which is also you pay once for all the Apple ecosystem applications, or £7 per month, which is a bit higher than the others. So in terms of view, let's compare the applications. Once you go to calendar application, the first thing you should see is a day view, a single day view, and it's collapsible and expandable. Then you have multi-day view, which was introduced in iOS 18, and it's very useful. I love this view because it made the best use of the screen and the number of events that you can see for today and your tomorrow. Then you have list view, which is showing like an agenda of your application in a time-based format. If you go back to month view, the first thing you should see on the top is compact, which I don't know why it even exists. Then you have stacked, which is a little bit more informational. It shows you maybe how many events you have per day. And then you have details, which is the best one. So I would say Apple made the best use of this view, because the amount of information I get with each individual event is quite sufficient. I can collapse it, I can expand it also to see more information. And then I have list view, which shows me in a split view a month on top and also the number of events that I have for each individual day if I tap on those days. If I click back to today, I should go back to the previous set of views, which shows me single multi-day, and then I have inbox for invitations that I receive, and I believe I have a year view also here, and then that's pretty much it. Next is across. Across gives you a tons of different views, and you can customize them individually. So for example, here I have month view, then I have split column view, and then I have task view, search, and then it shows me a single day, multi-day, or a week view. Then I have stacked somehow vertically view, and then I have weekly spread view, as they call it. If you tap here, you can see the name of those views, and then list view of the agendas, timeline as they call it, and then month view, and somehow compact view or a glance flow. So what I wish to see here was basically if I could simply tap on this button and hold it and see all these views in a form of menu here. So I could select instead of scrolling down here, and I would see more information, for example, the name of the view, so I could understand. Because from the icon is a little bit a matter of getting used to, I would say. But once you get used to it, I believe this is fantastic, the most customizable and the most brilliant way of seeing your events. Once you tap on the hamburger icon here, you should see a list of things you can go through. The theme can be light or dark, the calendars you can select, and reminder list and settings, which I will go through later, and you can literally customize a lot of things in this application. Then you have add button here, which you can choose between event or task, and you have a icon up here which says 1 for now, which is the today's date. And you, anywhere you are in the calendar, if you tap on it, it will go back to the day, and also you can see a tiny animation that shows like which day is today. Once you go to the Readdle Calendar, it's been like this forever. So I haven't seen much changes for years. You have month view, which is basically scrollable horizontally. You have week view, which is also scrollable horizontally. You have day view. I believe these are also, maybe not, collapsible. It's not collapsible or expandable. Week is not collapsible. Yeah, then you have list of your events, and you have your task on top. Tapping on the hamburger menu will take you to the calendar selection, and you have your settings here, which I'll go through again later. You have add button, which you can choose between task or event. Then we have Fantastical, which is quite famous for this ribbon style navigation. If I scroll on the ribbon, I should navigate through days, and if I scroll through days, my ribbon also gets navigated. These are connected. If I tap on the hamburger menu here, I should see a different list of views that I have. I have calendar. If I scroll down also from here, I should navigate through these views. One more scroll down takes me to the tasks, and I have different views like month view, quarter, which gives me a glance of what happened in the quarter, and also year view. On the hamburger menu, I have openings and settings, which I go through later. Once you tap on the add button, you should be able also to add event or task. So now let's compare the applications in landscape mode, the interfaces in landscape. So if I go back to calendar application and rotate my screen, I should be able to see my different views, day, week, month, and year. I can see Apple didn't make the best use of the interface here because a big portion of the screen on top was consumed by the title and also the things that could be done a little bit better. If I navigate to the left and right, I should navigate through my days, and if I tap on any event on day view, I should get a detailed list of what is going on, what is it related to, which calendar, alerts, and also the location. In week view, also the same issue. It suffers from a big portion of the screen being taken by things that are unnecessary. If I navigate to the left and right, this time I would navigate through the weeks, and scrolling up and down, I should see a list of the events through my day. Month view is a split screen. On the left hand side, I have months, which I can navigate through, and if I tap on each individual day, I should be able to see the list of events on the right hand side. So let's check across now. Once you navigate to landscape mode, all your interfaces are also available up here, and I believe Across made a better use of the interface. I can see lesser space taken from the top and more information is shown on the bottom. And I believe everything remains the same for the views that you see on the portrait mode. For Readdle Calendar, if you go to landscape mode, is also something similar. Readdle also didn't make the best use of the interface. It could be much more minimalistic. You can see the month view and is scrollable to the left and right. Week view also, day, and then list of the events. Lastly, Fantastical is completely different. So once you navigate to landscape mode, you should be able to see all your screen is allocated to events. I would say Fantastical made the best use of the landscape mode here because it's purely information. And if I scroll from the left to the right, I should be able to see something like the ribbon they have in portrait mode, which is work both ways. So if I scroll on the days here, the ribbon gets scrolled, and also scrolling on the ribbon would navigate my days. Next, let's discuss the features each individual calendar application has to offer. Let's go to calendar application again. Calendar application gives you a basic calendar, so you can add event, add task. It gives you a very basic natural language processing. For example, read tomorrow 10 a.m. As you can see, it gives me some suggestions, and if I tap on it, it will create an event on tomorrow for me. It schedules everything. It doesn't have some features. For example, if you want to create a recurring task like Fantastical, you can just type daily and it detects it and create a recurring task for you or event. You can create reminders the same way. So I can say read daily. This time in reminders it is detected and it creates a recurring task for me. The only problem here is I'm using a third-party keyboard and it's not detectable. If I switch back to Apple keyboard, then you can see a suggestion here. If I tap on it, then you will see that the task is created in a recurring manner. And I can give more information to the natural language processing. I can say 10 a.m. and then, yeah, it will detect it and capture my input. So basically, you have drag and drop. I think the drag and drop in Apple Calendar is the best in the class. You can drag anything and it's completely multi-touch now. I can navigate through my days and then drop it anywhere in the schedule. It works as well with my reminders. So I can drag a reminder and drop it anywhere and schedule it. If I tap and hold on any event and then release it, I should see these two handles, which allows me to reschedule it and expand or contract the time on it. In terms of settings, Apple Calendar gives you very basic settings, for example, week numbers, and also very minimal changes on the view, duration of the event, and week start dates, and also choosing the default calendar. In terms of how you integrate your calendars with Apple Calendar is basically you tap on calendar accounts and you can add different calendars. It works with Microsoft Exchange, it works with Google Business calendars, and also a series of other things which you can see in this list. Another thing you need to be mindful of Apple Calendar is basically you're pretty much stuck with the color of the calendar itself. Apple does not give you the color-coded events as other applications do. Alerts, you're maximum stuck with 2 different alerts, and that's it. Another thing you need to know about Apple Calendar is you're pretty much stuck with the dark and light theme, and you can't change the icon on it, while on different third-party calendar applications, you might have some flexibility on that. Across, on the other hand, gives you the most flexibility to change the style and interface of your application. I believe this is the most flexible application I have seen so far on the App Store. In terms of integration, Across do not directly integrate with your calendars. So you are pretty much stuck with what you insert here in your Apple Calendar, and across will pick them up. In terms of interface changes, if you go to settings, you can change your theme to pretty much any color that you want. And then across gives you pretty much a lot of icons that you can choose between. If you go to widget, even the color of the widget is interchangeable to dark and light. Color scheme is what you see in the accent of the basically menus here. You can change your tab settings. You can reorder all these tabs, and you can even change the icon of them. And then most important in all is calendar view here. If you go inside, you will see the number of changes you can do to event and task, how they should look like and be presented. Even the weather icon is interchangeable. The way it shows your today's day is also customizable. You can even choose today's effect, how it shows the animation once you choose your today. Beside that, you have color palettes here, which you can purchase, as I said, separately for $3.99. And you can see that after changing the color palette, literally the interface of your application will change significantly. And I believe this application would never be boring for you to use. So in terms of input, Across do not give you natural language processing. Your alerts pretty much stuck with 2 maximum alerts, and you can't insert more than 2. And beside that, you get color-coded events. You can color-code your events, unlike Apple Calendar, and it gives you a generous list of colors to choose in between. The rest of the options is quite similar to any other calendar application. For tasks also, it gives you priority, same as Apple Reminders. Repeat, you can choose whatever you want, and I believe, yes, you do not get any natural language processing with this task either. In terms of drag and drop, Across works, but not on every view. For example, on month view, I can't drag any event. It tries to create a new event for me. But if I go to week view, I can drag one event and drop it on a different day, and it reschedules the event for me. On the day view, if I drag one event, I can reschedule it to a separate time frame, and I don't think I get the handles to expand or collapse in terms of adding or reducing time to an event like I can do with Apple Calendar. Let's take a look at Calendar 5 by Readdle now. In terms of integration, you will get everything that Apple Calendar directly provides and can integrate to, except you can directly integrate from Calendar by Readdle to those calendar applications. So you do not need to go through the native Apple channel for integration. And you can see that you get a basic list of options here. You can change the theme to dark and light. You can change the Apple Watch face, and you get Siri shortcuts. Other services you can integrate to is Zoom calls and GoToMeetings. And then view options, you can change your week to start on Monday, Sunday, or any day that you want. Edit option, you can change the duration of the event and task. Then you have alerts, you can set default alerts, time for each individual alerts or task that is created. And then if I go to task creation, I should be able to see a switch between task and event. I get a very good natural language processing on the calendar by Readdle as well. So for example, if I say read daily, I should see that is a recurring task now created for me, 10 to 11 a.m. let's say. You can see that it changed the duration for me to 1 hour from 10 to 11. Unfortunately, the natural language processing is only available on the event, and you don't get that on the task. The task is integrated with your Apple Reminder, and you can get some idea of how it looks like and how it works from this task view. In terms of drag and drop, in Calendar 5, I can drag one event and drop it anywhere. It works very fluid, but I lost my multi-touch capability. I can't tap on any other days to drop it on a different day. And if I move it to the corner, yes, if I move it to the very corner, I can navigate to different days, but that makes the navigation a little bit difficult. On the week view, I can as well drag and drop a event to any different day. On the month view, it works as well. In Calendar 5 as well, you need to know that you can create color-coded events. You can set the color here, and you can have more than 2 alerts in compared to Apple Calendar, which I think is limited to 5, yes. Let's take a look at Fantastical now. Fantastical gives you the best integrations in its class. So you get most options here. You get iCloud, Exchange, everything that other calendars have to offer, plus additional third parties, for example, Zoom, WebEx, Meetup. And the best thing I did here was integrating my Todoist to Fantastical, which I see a list of my to-dos from Fantastical instead of Apple reminders. In terms of drag and drop, it's not feasible in the Dayticker view. I can't drag anything anywhere. It's only feasible in the week view. So in the week view, I can drag an event or task and drop it anywhere else on the different day or different time frame. On the month view is also not feasible. Another thing you need to know is with Fantastical, you get color-coded events. You can set the color of the events, and you get more than 2 alerts per event. For example, if I add more, I think it's limited to 5. Yes, you get maximum 5 in compared to 2 alerts for Apple Calendar. For natural language processing, with Fantastical, I get the most sophisticated one here. Let me show you some of its power. For example, meet Mason tomorrow, 10 to 12. And you can see it's created. And if I go here, you can see the duration is set completely. The NLP also detects the recurrings. Let's say, for example, read daily, and you can see automatically change the event to a recurring event on a daily basis. And it works perfectly fine with tasks also. Let's say read daily 10 a.m. And if I go here, you can see that the recurring is set to every day, and the time is also set for me at 10 a.m. Lastly, let's take a look at widgets. Widgets are important to beautify your screen and also get a glance of what's coming in your day and your events. With Calendar by Apple, you get pretty much simple widgets, and I believe they are resizable. As you can see in iOS 18, you can resize them and reshape them. With Across, you get the most number of widgets here. You get tons of options, basically anything from day view to multi-day view to up next, countdowns. So you have the most options with Across, and the widgets are more customizable. You can change the theme from dark to light, and also change the color palette to completely change the look of the events in your widgets as well. You can change the theme to change the color of the widgets also, and I would say is the most customizable and the prettiest across all. With Calendar 5, you get more options than Apple Calendar. You get an add button here, which you can add event from your widget. The widget looks better than Apple Calendar. And let me show you the rest of the things that you can get. So basically a day, month view, month in a smaller format. These are the dual week interactive agenda, as they said. And you can see pretty much more options than Apple Calendar. With Fantastical, you also get more options than Apple Calendar. Widgets look beautiful. You get add button on your widgets here. You can add events directly. And if I show you the rest of the things that Fantastical provides, you can see that you have plenty of options. So to summarize everything I said, I believe Calendar by Apple is a great application, and it gives you a balance of everything at a free price. The drag and drop is flawless on this application. User interface might get boring at times, but it's completely usable and workable in iOS 18. Across, on the other hand, gives you the most flexibility to customize your interface, color palettes, customization of the user interface, and also widgets. It gives you the most range of widgets, and they are really beautiful. Calendar by Readdle gives you a balance of everything at a reasonable price. You pay £20 a year, and you get a cross-platform application, which is very minimalistic. You have a basic natural language processing for your events, and you get pretty much every integration that you get with your Apple Calendar. And lastly, Fantastical is for the users who are willing to pay a little bit more and getting the business class features, for example, the integrations like Zoom and Todoist that you can't get with any other application. Beside Apple Calendar, all other applications can use color-coded events, and Calendar application by Readdle and Fantastical gives you more than 2 alerts, up to 5 alerts. We reached the end of the video. I wanted to thank you for watching it, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.